I have no idea why we debated about that one, honestly.
Yeah, it was a lot of whatever was going on in DBZ Imran's or Eye Patch's Wolf video, we were just dispelling or furthering our explanation on, and that was just one of the points.
Mhm. Yeah, and we all agree that basically the fight isn't personal for Ichigo, but it's personal for Aizen.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's definitely not personal for Ichigo though, because if it's
Yeah.
personal for Ichigo, it's basically personal for every human that is there, like Chad or Inoue or whoever. Like it makes no sense to just say this is personal to Ichigo.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not like Aizen did anything to him.
It's
Aizen himself even
especially-
points it out. It's like
It's especially-
Kubo literally wrote it there saying, this isn't personal. Aizen's like going on his monologue states, look, you don't have any personal reason to fight me. You're just doing it out of responsibility.
Yeah. So I don't know why
Yeah.
that was a point of contention.
And it was mostly just
Wait, I
Imran
don't
saying
remember.
it.
Did Imran actually claim that it was personal?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that Imran
Oh, for
said
fuck's
that
sake.
it was personal to Ichigo because Aizen is threatening to kill everybody that Ichigo loves. And that was his point, and he moved on.
Oh.
Considering my view of like now that I know more, like now me, the German, and Combat know exactly more what Ichigo actually is. It's more like he's trying to unconsciously protect the planet rather than anything. Like he doesn't know he's doing that.
Yeah.
Like the thing that the soaking was initially made out of. He was born out of the. He was born as a response for the travelers of the first men of Scrandi. So Ichigo being in another soaking would probably do the same thing.
Yeah. And other things we were talking about were like the world building of Bleach, the money, the what is that? The court.
The Central 46.
The
Central 46
judicial system. Yeah, the
Yeah.
judicial
We
system.
were talking about world building, Central 46, other branches of Soul Society. We were talking about the money of Soul Society, how souls are killed and reincarnated, and how it doesn't really make sense because there's a lot more souls born into the world than there are dead over in Soul Society. So the balance thing makes little sense, and that it needs to be a complete balance because the scientists.
Actually, I did discover that there may be more souls on Wakamondo than there are souls on the world of living. Actually,
Wow, that's even
so,
more oof.
Like, if we look into like stuff that's revealed in like novels and stuff like that, because Kubo has this thing where he doesn't like explaining in the manga, but in novels it's just text, so they kind of have to. We get like some information. We get like the idea that yeah, it doesn't have to be a perfect balance. It's just if you upset it too much, it collapses.
Okay, but what's too much though? Because there's a time where the scientist is like, I had to hurry up and go kill like 3,000 people in Soul Society.
That's just Mayuri being paranoid.
See, I would, you know what? That makes a lot more sense of him being paranoid, but we don't get an explanation of it right now. That's just an assumption.
And also, the captain was just like, if you came over.
Get up to like Mayuri. Mayuri just wanted to kill people because he's Mayuri.
But then Yami was just like, if you had asked me, I would have signed off on that.
Yeah.
And so, and Yami's the head of it all. He wasn't like, hey, calm down. You didn't have to do that. He said, just come to me, and we got paperwork to do, homie.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, I agree. That one's retarded. Like Yamamoto being like, I would have just accepted. It's like no. Like we learned that the actual like Vasto Lorde has like, I think they state it has like
hundreds of millions
of like souls in them. So for him to be like, 3,000, we need to stop this.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Makes no sense.
just
at
go
all.
hunt a Vasto Lordy around Wakamondo. You can
Yeah,
find
it's like,
them.
wait, you're telling me like 3,000's too much, but you can just deal with hundreds of millions? Yeah, it sounds reasonable.
Yeah, and that's a
Yeah.
problem when, it's said several times that balance needs to be restored, balance, and it's all this important stuff talking about balance and keeping the souls and how the Quincy's killed them and that's why they were eliminated. But then in the book somewhere it just goes, well, it's not technically really, you don't really need a whole lot of balance.
Which makes
That's
it
not-
sound like the Quincy extermination was unnecessary if the whole reason they were exterminated was because if they kill hollows, their soul dissipates, which upsets the balance. So if you've got 3,000 Quincy's killing 100 souls each, that's 300,000 hollows and souls just in the ether, just going forever, and that can upset the balance. But if it's so much just like you got hundreds of millions, billions of people on both, and just 200,000 could upset the balance enough that it could destroy reality, I don't know how you would take account of that. Like, how would you know what the souls are doing? How would you know where they are?
Imagine the
Well,
period. Imagine post-period period.
Yeah, well, it's mostly like Quincy since they just destroy like all souls connected. It's like if they kill a hollow, let's say like a Menos, they would kill all those. So it just builds up because the thing with like when Soul Reapers do it, they just purify it and it goes into the cycle. So if they do it too much, the balance upsets, but it like equals itself out with time. But for Quincy,
Also, like the thing with like the hollows is that they basically do have like way more than just like one soul inside of them that they ate.
Sure.
yeah.
But I don't know how fine the balance has to be. Like, is there no margin of error? Does it have to be completely balanced? 100 over here, 100 over there,
And then
80 over here and 100 over here, and
Yeah.
still be kind of cool.
And you said that it's going to
Yeah,
balance
yeah.
itself out in time. Like, how much is that time? Is it like, is it cool to leave that imbalance for 10 years, 5 years, 1 year, a month? How long is it before it's like, okay, now we need to really start rebalancing stuff?
Because the scientist panics and just goes, "We've got to kill these 3,000 people." And Yamato's like, "I would have signed off on
did
that."
agree. You did agree that Yuri doesn't make it.
It's like a plot that doesn't make sense, but like the scientists, they don't know it because to know like the full balance stuff, you kind of have to be like Ichibei, as he's the only one that fully understands it, and he's the only one that's actually told us like, yeah, if we kill this thing, world fucks over. Like that's the why they couldn't kill like the whole Ikomikidomoe. Because it just had too many souls in it, and if they just released all that, it would literally just collapse everything.
Okay,
And
so
all we know of that is it's got too many. They also
Yeah.
like explain that a new Soul King can't like contain like around 1 billion souls, but if they're like established there, has been there for a while, they can contain that very easily, like a difference in balance for stuff like that. It's just Quincy upset it like with time.
yeah, I can understand Quincy's over time making it so there's too many not souls in Soul Society as opposed to Earth. But with the hollow thing, if you're saying, a big hollow could hold like 1 billion souls, they were chasing those types of hollows to destroy them so their souls would go back into Soul
No.
Society.
That type of hollow is a one in a chance. It's a freak of
Ikome is like he's a one-time thing. He's
Okay.
never existed like anything like him before.
Let's skip
He's
the billion
described
one.
even by hollows as like completely unique.
And
Let's skip
also,
the
like,
billion
don't-
ones. Let's look at like Grand Minnows, where it's just like, let's just say they have 10,000 souls in them.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, they actually have more than that.
Okay, let's say
Yeah,
100,000
like
souls.
a Menos would. Yeah.
Okay,
Like
let's
stuff
say
like that they can handle.
let's say 100,000 souls in there. Let's say there's 5 in the world at any given time. The Soul Reapers are chasing these things like we cannot find them. We cannot get the Grand Fisher. We cannot find these things because we need to destroy them. Because they're destroying humans and ripping up towns, but we need to destroy them so we can get the souls over there. That would mean that there's, at this point in time, an imbalance of 500,000 souls that they cannot account for while they're chasing this. So how long have they been chasing it? How long can they just sit there and let that imbalance happen? And it's not explained in anything as far as I know, which speaks to poor world building aspects of Bleach. Like we said before, Bleach has very good world building in some aspects, but the bad aspects are just unexplained. And it's okay to say they're bad, but they are absolutely bad because you look at the balance and it makes no sense, especially when they have things like fish. There's billions of fish. Like, how do you account for this?
Yeah, and they never say that animal souls don't account into anything. They just say
They
souls.
actually do account on because animals can become souls, so you have to also account for the.
So now we're talking about
they
billions
don't,
of.
matter as much. Like,
But we're talking
and
about
the
billions of
reason,
fish,
like, an imbalance.
fish, ants,
Well, yeah.
termites, things that are just like outnumbering humans. We have to now account for
Spiders.
We have to now account for their souls as well. And you say that they don't matter as much, but they've never stated how much they matter or why they even matter.
We do know because like it's literally stated in like the Fullbring arc that everything has a soul.
Yes.
So we know that like those small souls they don't really matter. It's like when it comes to big like main souls.
Okay,
like humans.
but what does not matter mean? Because it's still over there. So is it like
Does
10
does a
million?
million dogs equal a single human? Do 2 billion dogs equal 10 humans?
Okay, so
When do we
for
start
that,
caring
like-
about dog souls?
Oh yeah, like they don't do that because they don't have to worry. Like it's when it comes to like a power stance because the thing that keeps the balance is a being, and that being determines the imbalance. Because like this is also revealed in the novel. It's like Aura, Fullbringer states that like Ichigo would have been a better soul king than Yuha because he would have made it even more balanced. Meaning that he can like handle a more indifference on both sides.
So he can handle
That's
a greater
basically
balance.
it.
Down
Okay,
to
but
power.
that's
It's down to power.
that's like the big soul taking care of all the imbalance. We're talking about the billion ants. Like, do a billion ants equal 7 humans? Because at some point, that balance is
the
going
big
to
soul
matter.
Keeps everything. Like the Soul King keeps everything. Like he keeps the balance. Like souls on both sides is basically just there because his power exists.
Okay, if he keeps the balance, why do they need to fight for balance?
Because that's
Because
apparently
he
a
can only
lot.
keep so much.
Yeah, like it's like you're a weightlifter. It's like Atlas from Greek mythology.
Yeah.
He's lifting the planet and all that. Imagine trying to throw another planet on top of him. Imagine throwing more weight on top of him. He's gonna collapse. So he can only handle the planet.
Okay.
Not more than
How
that.
much of the planet is the Soul King handling?
Like everything he can handle.
No,
like,
not everything, because
Like,
more is getting thrown on it, and he can't handle that. That's why it's leaking out, and they need to keep the balance. The Soul Reaper, so he's not handling everything.
Yeah, it's mostly the surplus of the added sauce, if anything.
I
That's
think
the
I
part that overflows.
misinterpreted what you said. I thought like you meant range and like how much his power covers.
Oh no! I know
Not
his
like-
power encompasses everything, but how much
Oh, yeah.
balance is he personally handling? Where the surplus needs to be handled by the Soul Reapers.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, so he can't keep a balance. He can just make like decide on like how stable I guess it would be. How do I explain? It's
He's just a corpse at that point, so he can't do anything at all.
He can't do anything. It's just his power that like.
Yeah, no, I
let's
understand.
say-
He's like a conduit.
How would I explain? Yeah, it's like his power exists, and they have these two scales. If one scale tips too far, like everything collapses. It's just that like his power determines how much the scale can weigh.
Okay.
Yeah, like but the Soul King was just really mainly chopped off to like keep the free world worlds in a stable shape. And it's like as a corpse he can't exactly really like do much, and like there have to be like these other foot soldiers to actually do that job.
No, I
Yeah, because he
understand
cannot manage it by himself. Like, he's literally just supposed to make the 3 original worlds that were created at that point. So I guess if we discover how many people were living at that point, we can determine the actual balance that he can handle in the surplus.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We just
Technically, he wasn't even meant to handle that. He was just made because they feared him.
again.
Mm.
The problem there is that we just don't know. and there's too much of Bleach that we don't know.
Yeah, he could just handle a surplus of souls, but we don't know the number of souls, how long it is, if it accounts for ants and things like that. You're just going, he can account for a certain amount of souls, and once that tips over, there's going to be a problem, and that's where the Soul Reapers come in. But what is that number if there's...
considering
Okay, so even ants and all that, they would actually reincarnate, just like our other souls. It's like they directly describe that, like, souls after a specific amount of time they reincarnate. We don't know the exact time frame, but we do know that, like, if they're alive in Soul Society for a while, they reincarnate.
Can I stop you for a real quick second?
Exceptions are, of course, if they're born there.
Can I stop you for a really quick second? Do you think that it's good that we don't know how long it takes for a soul to reincarnate? We don't know anything about that reincarnation thing. That's a good aspect of world building.
No, I don't think that's good. I would have preferred if we knew.
Okay, just making sure.
I also would prefer. But then again, considering that we do have the Permian period with the asteroid, and they will still find how many dinosaurs were alive back then. Because no matter what, those things were the dominant life form at that point. They were more than humans.
We don't know how much their souls were. Wait. How long did that take? When did the Permian period take place? How long was that?
250 million years.
Yeah, okay, that wasn't the original world, so the balance wouldn't have mattered then.
Oh yeah, because the balance was created after.
Yeah. Like, Soul Society is only like 1 million years old, so anything pre that is like doesn't matter because it's the original world that doesn't have balance.
Wait, why not?
The original world, like, they didn't have balance there. Like, they made balance from Soul King because, like, the original world was basically chaos. It didn't have life, death, or like regression or progress. It all just existed at once, and like it was a mess. So
how long did that period last?
We have like that's just like up until like 1 million years ago. Everything up until then was like that original world. That's like what existed always. It's basically the universe, a bigger universe, I guess, but just up until that point.
Okay, because I had never heard about this, but that sounds like an interesting side story. I would have loved that to have been a one shot or something.
Yeah, like you are hints to it in 1,000-Year Blood War, but it's like when we learn of it in like Canfion World novels, it's great. Like, it's an interesting idea. Although
and like the reason why this wasn't even like implemented in the manga, like most of the stuff in that novel actually was going to be originally implemented. But because of Kubo's health getting worse and worse, he could only do as little as he could originally, because like the blood war was going to last a lot longer.
The manga was
why I don't care too much about 1,000-Year Blood War's problems, because they're obvious, right? Like, everyone knows it has problems. If you don't accept that, then you're just insane and blind.
Combros, did you know that the manga was actually supposed to end this year, as far as Kubo could know?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think Kubo stated, like, in an interview that this is, like, the year it would end.
Yeah, and he also actually kind of stated that he was actually going to get more into Rangiku's backstory as well. In the
I think he, in, interviews, he stated there's a few characters he wants to go into. Like, he made Shuhei's story in Canfion World, where we just get him. Then we got a little of like Kenpachi and Don Kanonji in like Spirits Are Forever With You.
Basically, the 1,000-Year Blood War ended 5 years earlier than Kubo originally wanted it to.
Although it still sucks.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully in the anime he gets to
flesh some stuff out.
And use some of those
we know he's working with the anime, so I hope he actually I hope they take the time to build it up. Because I want to see like the full vision, so I can actually like judge the final arc fully. Because currently it's like I've got mixed reviews on it. I love the arc, but it's got so many problems.
I think the more accurate description would be that like everything about like the first half of the Blood War is just really fucking good. But then like during the second half, it's just a coherent mess.
It's basically the war arc of Naruto without the good stuff.
Yeah, he has certain points that he
Wait,
needs
okay,
to
okay,
hit. Like,
I take that back. The Bleach has some good things, but not a lot after that first part ends.
yeah, for Bleach, the Thousand Year Blood War, it seems like he had some points that he needed to hit. Like, oh, I need to show this person Bankai. I need to explain exactly why Ukitake has been sick and why he's important. And he didn't really have time enough to set it up. So he's just like, a bunch of 26 Quincy's come in, and then they're fighting in Bankais and Ukitake and Soul King, and we're out.
Yeah, like the first half was well set up, I think. It's like, yeah, they come in, they're mysterious. We get a little info. They're like, and then we get a little, and then everything's like for the second part, it's getting set up. Like, we got Unohana stuff. That was fine. Like, the everything but the rain arc was nice, and then everything after just went to hell.
Once
Yeah,
again,
especially-
like I literally like one of the things that I do not that I get after the Blood War is Yoruichi is a jobber. I hate bankais, and I don't know what else. Like those are the two main things. I hate bankai. I hate the bankai freaky.
I only don't like Bankais when they're like very good counters to what's going on.
Yeah.
No, the reason I hate bankai is because they keep being brought up when you already introduce something else. What is this bankai craze that everybody goes on?
Oh, bankais are cool. It's just that I would prefer seeing higher states for Ichigo again, like having get into
Okay, also
Mugets and
for, like-
Masters.
Also, like I don't remember this part too well in the Blood War, but I think the main one of the things that actually bother me is the lack of strategy being implemented.
Yeah. That's like the fact that they mention that in "We Do Not Always Love You," like it barely goes into the war because it's taken place like I think 3 years after, and it's
3
like
years.
Ruki and Renji's wedding. Like the fact that they actually give us like explain, yeah, Soul Society, like they use strategy. This is what happened. Like give us flashbacks of what happened, and it's like it's great. It's like actual like war, and then we see the arc. It's just big strong versus big strong.
At least like in the first half, like Yuwak actually had prep.
Yeah. Like I can excuse the first arc of being big strong versus big strong because it's like they couldn't do much, they didn't have any time to prepare. So it's just
They were
send
literally-
out the warriors and fight.
They
But
were
second
literally
off, they
caught
have
up.
prep. They should be planning.
Yeah, also,
Another
I
thing
think,
that I don't like about Bleach is the very small windows of time between everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like the timeline in the Blood War is just literally way too short.
Yeah, literally, I can count in my fingertips. It almost all takes place during Ichigo's mother's death.
Yeah.
Yeah, and most of Bleach takes place over a couple months, and then after Aizen's defeat, it's like 2 year time skip, and then it's
It's another couple
Technically
months.
a year and a half.
year and a half.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not a whole lot of time.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
too much. It's like it allows you to grow a little, but it's not
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
then
then
you
the
have
second half-
then you have the people who say, "Oh, we've been at this for so long." No, it's been barely a week at most.
Yeah,
I
I
guess
really don't
maybe
get
a week is long in war. I'm not sure. I haven't seen war, so I guess time feels like it takes longer during certain occasions. So I guess, but it still feels weird due to the lack of context.
I mean, the Naruto
Like,
war took place literally over 2 days, so
Yeah,
and that was like
Exactly.
there's 100,000 people dead. I think it was like 50,000 or
Yeah.
30,000, something like that. Some insane
That was
number
like
like that.
80,000.
Yeah, something crazy
Yeah.
like that.
like that war arc itself was like it had some good stuff, but it kind of sucked.
I feel
know.
like there's
Yeah, I
nothing in
think
the
I-
world, even like the worst things in the world, that you can't pull some good out of.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's like most things have some good in it at least.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, like
at
the
least
sad
with like
thing is,
Bleach,
like-
some fights were cool. Like it got some cool stuff revealed, but that's basically it. Like the pacing wasn't good. Some of the plot points kind of sucked, and and some of the battles were just retarded.
Yeah, and poor world building, things like that, unexplained
Yeah.
things.
Constant editors butting in. Fucking fraction.
Oh, I hate the editors half the time.
Oh, and
they're
the fan
good.
base.
Oh yeah, the fan base are even worse though. But like, the editors, when they change the pacing because they want stuff in, it's like, no, stop. Although, sadly, I can't blame them for the lack of information because that's just his art, like his writing
Also,
style.
like, yeah, bros. Like, do you guys know the moment in like Fullbringer arc, like when Ichigo got like his powers back and the Soul Reaper showed up?
Yeah, what about it?
Yeah, so apparently Kubo didn't even want the Soul Reapers to be added in. He was originally gonna make Ichigo get his powers back in like his own way.
Which would have
Which
been
would
way
have been
better.
way cooler.
Yeah,
Instead
would
of
have
just
been.
them
for, like-
coming down and like, here's all of our powers,
Yeah.
get it back.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah,
I can see the editor's point, just like, hey, these Soul Reapers that Ichigo was previously fighting, they are now giving him his powers back to protect and all that stuff.
But at
I
the
can
same
see like the
time, like,
circular reasoning for that.
Yeah, like it happened in the first chapter or the first few chapters, and this is the reset of his powers. So let's have
and
it happen.
Rukia is the one giving it back, so that's a replay of the first one.
But at the same
Although
time, I think
kind of pointed out to be the case, like that they just gave her the sword just so they thought it fitting. I think Kiski says that. It's still bad.
And also like do you guys know like the Fracciones fight, like with Shuhei, Ikaku, and Yumchika?
mhm.
Yeah, apparently Kubo was only just gonna like he was only mostly just gonna skip it or not even show it that much. The editor just really wanted to be extended really long.
Yeah, and I agree with like the choice of just skipping it because in any series where there's a time limit as well, it's like you focus on the important stuff, and the important stuff is Espada and like them, not the fucking fodder.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, except like the Shuhei one. The Shuhei one was
Shuhei's cool.
I
I
feel
like
like
Shu and Yumashika's because it gives like information.
it feels like the editors knew they had gold, and they didn't have a lot of gold at that time. They had One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach, so they were like, "Let's make this a little longer. Let's stretch this out." I don't understand the Soul Reapers coming down. Like, I understood the point, but at the same time, it feels like they would have gotten more substantive fights if it was just Ichigo, his friends, and Uryu coming back, as opposed to
Rukia fighting the Dollhouse Girl, like she's got no investment in this. It's just a random fight.
Yeah, it would have been way cooler if Ichigo like was able to free Shad and Orihime. Like we got some more like experience on like how he is currently, because like we got some of human, but we didn't get some of he's finally gotten his power back and is determined. It
Yeah.
would have been nice seeing more of that.
I
And
also
then it
would have
been
liked.
nice just seeing how far his friendship and like just relationship with them has like progressed.
I also
But
would have
instead we
liked.
got
I also,
Ichigo could have literally gotten this form. Look and just talk. He could have literally gotten this.
you know what?
It's
That
so
form
sad.
would have been 1,000 times better than that final form we got.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
I am a defender of the final form. I
Why?
don't think it's that bad.
Dude, it's horrible.
That looks good, but the final form
Yeah,
it's a
it's
mix of his
I know what it's a mix of.
so,
It's awful.
so it's all coming together. The hollow, the human, and the Quincy, it's all coming together. So he got
In
the
the
big
most
horn in
stupid
it.
way.
Okay, it's fine. It could have gone with another redraft or redesign, but the idea is
That's
there.
when the editor should have
Yeah,
stepped in.
the editor should be like, no, this is trash, homie. Can we like nope, this is what it is. Moving on.
talking about the horn of salvation or the big bad like sword that no one should like.
The true Bankai.
The
Oh,
sword
yeah,
is
I hate
dumb.
that one. Yeah, the big sword is
I'm
dumb.
fine with the look.
How can you be
The
fine with the
sword
look?
looks cool, but it's dumb.
The sword is literally just the Shikai. Say that's Ichigo
It's just a
Shikai.
big sword. Like, it doesn't. Ichigo's Bankai has always been like smaller, and it's like always covered him. It's dumb that they changed that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
sure,
Also,
I
if you
guess
look at the
Kubo
shape-
liked
if you look at the
wanting to
shape
like do
really
something, but
if you look at the Bankai shape really closely, you can actually detect that it's just basically the Fullbring Shikai but white.
yeah.
Did that come from
It's a
Bleach
level
Brave
of-
Souls, or
It's
what?
not
What Jack?
even
Where'd this
that-
come from?
Yeah, like this is one of the forms Kubo has like made. Like Bleach Brave Souls is asking to like make stuff, and yeah, he made this. He made like a Quincy Ichigo for like, yeah, this is what Ichigo would look like if he continued training after like the war.
Okay,
And
that's
like
interesting.
this is if he like
Let me go get one.
regained his full bring and combined it with the Shinigami powers.
Mm-hmm.
That is a
Let me go
good
get what the
design.
Yeah,
what
it's a
the
good design.
fucking,
Yeah.
let me go get what the New Year form is. Like,
Yeah.
it's actually the Quincy one, but it's actually just his full potential. Let me go get what it looks like.
Like he gives him a few other forms. Like we don't get information about them because BBS writers suck, but we got information for this one at least, and we got like info from Kubo just telling us what they are.
Yeah, this one is literally Ichigo as an adult. This is what he would have This is what he would look like after the Blood War if he continues training. This
That
Ichigo
is
as
a
full potential.
godlike design.
Say what you want about Kubo. The
I
man can
know.
draw. The man can design a character.
Yeah,
Say what you want
Like-
about his writing. That man can design.
yeah.
For
like-
real.
Sometimes.
and I love how it's like he actually took inspiration from like the Fullbring Bankai and just added like stuff to it. You can like see a hollow arm, like you can see Quincy in there with the blue, white, and like the bow and blood and all that. It's great, but then there's the bad stuff. Like I don't like the pants too much. I get their Quincy pants, like, but I would have preferred another pair.
And see, I would have preferred if he just done like a Togashi where he just goes, okay, my arm is messed up. I'm taking 6 months off. I'm the Bleach dude. I made y'all a lot of money. I deserve 6 months off so I can continue. And we get stuff like this as opposed to just Yu Habak is killed in a slash and it's over. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would have preferred him just going, look,
Yeah.
I'm flexing my creativity muscle a little bit. I gotta get some time off so we can get some good stuff going.
Yeah, I would have liked that as well, but I get like he's shared like his zombie powder, like a previous work. He lost interest because he has like stopped working on it. So he's probably one of those that if he like stops doing it, he loses interest and can't really get back into it.
Yeah, I can see that. You know, he gets lazy. He's just like, I don't want to do that anymore. I've lost all interest in it, so I'm gonna put it off to the
Yeah.
side and then just
I
like
can sorta
never finish it.
understand that. Yeah, like I get that fear. Like it happened with zombie powder, so maybe he was scared the same would happen with Bleach.
So he just finishes it on his turn.
Here's
Yeah.
what White's design looked like in BBS. I'm not sure if Kubo. But
Yeah, I don't
oh my
think
God.
Kubo made that one. I don't think he made that one. He makes a like they give them designs as well.
I
That
like
is-
the big pimp coat. I like the big pimp coat. I'll say that. It doesn't make any sense, but it looks cool.
Look, if you're gonna flex right.
Yeah.
This is way too busy though.
This seems like
Yeah.
Look at the giant sleeve of the pimp coat with the gold and the purple just on it.
sure.
Just swinging. Yeah, this is way too busy. The gold trim
I can
with
see
the
it.
giant
I can
armored boot.
in like another arc or something. Maybe burn the witch.
No, this is
Look, I hope they actually make some good stuff with Burn the Witch because we've finally gotten what was teased. Like they mentioned that there's other part, and we have finally seen one of the other parts. Of Soul Society.
And that's another thing where I'm like, yeah, this would be very interesting to see this because it's just the West branch. You have to go, okay, what are the other branches like? All right, because we talked about it in one of our videos. Like, what about the East branch? What is it like? Cowboys?
West
branch. What is it like? Cowboys? And they're like they've got gun bankais and stuff. That'd be kind of interesting. Since this is, you know, Japanese inspired, you go over there, it's old school American inspired, and those are cowboys. I'm like, that'd be kind of interesting to see.
Like stuff like that would be nice. Like I hope that he continues with stuff like that because like the anime hinted towards like witches by mentioning them a few times. He's teasing about them, but like it's nice that we have finally seen another part, and it's so different that it just opens up the possibility of this is what the world could be.
Yeah, but like the West Branch is the witches in London and all of that.
Yeah.
You're talking about like the North Branch or the South Branch.
Yeah.
And you know what? One of those, like the South Branch, you could be like, hey, we're the animal branch. We take care of the animals. And that could solve a lot of problems.
Yeah. Because they have like, this branch is taking care of dragons. Oh yeah, this one for Byakuya, that one was cool as well.
I'm gonna just look up a bunch of these designs once we're off of here, because this is a good one.
Yeah.
I love that Byakuya design.
Look, he made a new one for Ulquiorra, and like he gave all the Espadas Hokyoku forms. They're cool.
Yeah, so
Here's
at least
Hollywood. This is like officially what she would look like with the Hogyoku.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. It's very Kubo-esque. It's very like what's the cat girl's name when she got her lightning form and it's just a freaking lightning bikini. It's like, what are you doing?
I mean, I like aspects of it. Like I like the sleeves and the shoulder pads.
Yeah, the black coloring of the armor like reminiscing back to the fact that black hollows are actually rare in Bleach. They're actually stated to be something of an oddity. So when she transforms, she actually like her coloration goes from a white shark to a black one.
Yeah, although nothing will beat Ulquiorra's.
If you guys have ever seen Witchblade, the anime, that looks very much like that armor.
Yeah, it looks like a Witchblade. It looks like Witchblade, and I like it. I like Witchblade. I think the character is actually a cool one.
That Uki form is ridiculous.
I'm glad Kubo cares enough to design some more. And he's clearly putting effort into this. It's not like, let's just give him another eye and make him blue or something. He's
like the
putting
Toriyama stuff.
Yeah. He's putting effort into it. So I'm glad that he at least still got some kind of love for Bleach.
Yeah. Although I guess I just realized that we're getting self-tracked.
Well, it's cool designs.
Yeah. Look, it's a good thing to get off track with stuff like this. It's like, look, just look at the good stuff instead of the bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
we need to balance the bad with the good. There needs to be some balance. Like, we can't be getting angry all the time. Like, at the moment I'm watching Godzilla vs. Mothra at the moment. Like, I like it.
Yeah, we can switch back from
Honestly, I'm kind of happy that Shinigami isn't here because, like, I think anytime I mention, like, a bad thing about Bleach, he just defends it. I'm not sure if he does the same to, like, New Combat and Assassin.
He does.
Yeah, he's just so into Bleach that he can't see a fault with it. It's just
when we talked about,
I kind of just realized. Also, I kind of just realized something that's actually kind of sad, because like in the Naruto war, there were actual strategies being planned.
Oh yeah, there were a lot of strategies there.
Yeah, although they didn't end up working, and nothing will beat the strategy on how to beat Obito and Madara. Okay, nothing will beat that. Just keep on hitting Obito for 5 minutes and heal yourself when he beats you up. Best strategy, okay? Nothing will beat that.
I mean, there is like the one where Shikamaru's father came up with.
Yeah, but that doesn't compare to just like continuously get beat up for 5 minutes.
Okay, so anyway.
Yeah, we've said before, early Bleach, like Soul Society stuff, is probably some of the best shonen stuff we have ever seen.
Amazing stuff there.
The problem starts coming at the later half of Hueco Mundo,
where it's just all the captains and the lieutenants fighting, and just like
editors getting into the middle of it. They keep meddling. I don't. like I don't. I'm gonna be honest. I told this before to Combat and Bleach German. They know about it. I do not. I am a person who does not like early Bleach. I do not like Substitute arc, and I do not like Soul
Really?
Society arc.
Yeah, he
Really?
hates he hates humor, like right. He doesn't
Okay, that makes
understand
sense.
Kubo's humor, and like the early parts were a lot of humor, so he just doesn't enjoy them.
Okay, that's fine, Because I'm like, that's
Yeah.
some good character stuff. You got it's fun, it's Monster of the Week stuff. Every now and again, you get some Orihime backstory type of stuff. It's some really good
Some cat
stuff
story.
in the early Bleach.
Yeah, it's good, but then you get to the parts that starts annoying me because of Kubo's comedy. I do not enjoy it.
No, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. We can't.
Yeah, it's a personal preference
Yeah,
on humor and all. So
and nobody's gonna be like, you do like it. You're gonna laugh. Nobody's gonna be like that. It's like if you don't find it funny, you're not gonna find it funny. So that's cool.
yeah, especially if it's basically a comedy show at times. It's like if you don't find the comedy funny, it's
also, like,
obviously
I
not
think,
with
like,
your.
I think that like one of the things that actually attracted people most about the Souls, one of the things that attracted people about the Soul Society, like at least in the anime, is like the art style, where it's like a mix between 90s and modern.
Oh yeah. The anime definitely drew some in. Like
Yeah.
I've seen a bunch of people just like say, yeah, the art style is like really good there.
The art style is good. His designs are good, especially like covers.
Where he just shows people like, hey, here they are snowboarding, and they got winter outfits. It's like those are good outfits. I said in our Discord, go ahead.
Oh yeah, he's just doing that because he just likes designing, because that his like dream job was being a designer, so he's probably does because of that.
That man should have been.
Excuse, I guess.
He'd be 7 times richer, I swear. Because those designs, I would go to Japan just to buy some Kubo designs.
And I said in our Discord, I was just like, if Bleach was just the first 2 arcs and then 10 years of just the Bleach characters in cool clothes, it would have went down as the greatest manga in history.
Honestly, like, there's like Bleach is one of the shows that I want to like just say. I wish we could see like a version of this where the writer or mangaka just got all the time in the world just to make what they wanted. Like same with Naruto and like Dragon Ball, like everything like that. I just wish to see what would it have been like.
Yeah, if you that check out JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. You can feel like the heavy hand of the editors between like 1 and 7, and then in part 8 it's just like he's going nuts. He's doing anything that he wants, whatever he wants. So if you want to see an author unleashed,
Or like,
Yo-yos, it's great.
yeah.
well, like this is also the Boo Saga where Toriyama is going insane there, and I love the Boo Saga actually. It's my favorite arc in Dragon Ball.
I think Blue Saga gets a lot of hate, like a lot of unwarranted hate. There are some bad parts. There are absolutely some bad parts. Do not get me wrong. But I don't think it's markedly worse than something like the Android Saga.
Yeah. I think it's mostly hindered by its lack of explaining, because it's just like, here's a fusion and then here's a different fusion. Like one chapter to explain both of those would have been a lot better than just like 2 different fusions, boom.
Yeah.
Well,
Stuff
we
like
are
that.
we are given the explanation right away.
Yeah, but it's like it's just so quick that you don't get like that room to breathe, I think.
Yeah.
At least in the manga. The anime is like really, it's weird paced, I guess.
The anime is like Dragon Ball in its anime. It has some weird relationship. It's the one where they most contributed to each other the most, if anything. But that's probably because Toriyama is basically a god to them at that point.
Yeah.
But then Toriyama got his own problems, like with the whole Bardock thing. Bardock was he I think he designed Bardock and had nothing to do with the story, and then he went, "Oh, I kind of like Bardock. Let me do my own Bardock," and he kind of just ruined it.
No. Actually, here's the thing with Bardock. Bardock first had one design done by someone in the writing staff from Toei. Then Toriyama redesigned him, and it looked good. And then he got redesigned again into the Bardock special.
I hate his
First
Bardock special
episode.
armor. It's not angular. It's sort of like rounded. I hate it. and I hate his
No,
whole.
no, not that one. The first one. It's the third rendition of his design that they did.
I don't think I
The
know that
final
one.
project that, yeah, that's the third try they did. The second one was by Toriyama, and then they drafted again by another writer, taking it from Toriyama.
Oh wait, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, there's three designs
Ew.
for rabbits.
Don't go ew.
I'll go ew if I want.
He looked like kind of like Turles in the first one
Yep.
from the
Yes, he did
Tree of
have.
Might movie. Yeah, that was terrible. I don't know what he was thinking.
But yeah, the biggest problem is the whole personality and his story and his place in the world, and the fact that it's just like, oh, you're an odd one, that you love your son, that you care about your son. Saiyans don't normally care about, and it's like, of course it's Goku's dad that cares about him, as opposed to in the original Bardock special, you're just like, a power level of 5, that sucks, you piece of crap, baby.
Yeah, he didn't even care for him. It's just only when he got the fucking knowledge from the future that, oh, fuck,
Yeah.
you're actually a big deal.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
already
like
living.
that's one thing I love about like Abridged, where they just make fun of Broly being so much stronger and him being like, yeah, that's my boy, and then he just gets disappointed.
Yeah.
Because that's unironically what Bardock was.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's literally
And
his
then they
original.
just ruined him by making him like, they basically just tried making Superman, but they didn't get the idea of Superman right.
Yeah,
I like
that's
this
when
guy.
Super-
I like him. Superman is so mishandled by DC right now. They just cannot get him right. And people don't understand what makes Superman good. They just see big power.
Look, in terms of feats, for scaling, he's great. Character-wise, can we get like the old one back?
Yes, thank you. Or at least an amalgamation of it. Like right now,
Yeah.
Superman and Lois is a fantastic I want from a modern day Superman. Not the Henry Cavill stuff that Snyder wrote.
Yeah, like, sure, the most I can give it to Snyder is because he already explained himself that he's going through an arc before Superman fully develops.
I guess. But like,
Like, there
in
is honestly
comics, he's
overrated.
okay right now, but
He's still not good enough.
although
Yeah, he's not good
current
enough.
Superman is pretty good in the comics, but it's not as good as the old Superman.
It's not as good as pre New 52 Superman.
Yeah.
I think New 52
Like-
changed a lot about the character, and then the reboot after the fact is adopting a lot of the New 52 stuff that I don't like.
Yeah, they literally were fused into one person at that point. If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
Rebirth is like post-crisis and like New 52. Although currently like everything's fused into one, so I
Yeah.
hope they actually do well with him. Because like he's pretty cool in like the 2018 run of like Justice League, but it's like it's good. It's getting on the right track. It's just not fully there.
Guys,
I think my grandma is calling me. I'm gonna go check on her.
guys,
Yeah.
just sidetrack.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is
yeah,
complete
that's-
sidetrack. It's way different with Shinigami because there's a lot to disagree on. With most of what you guys are saying, we agree with. The good stuff is good, the bad stuff is bad. And
But every little thing we talked about, it was just like, no, this is actually good. So it was kind of hard to get a word in edgewise.
The same is like with anything with like Shinigami, like he annoys me half the time because he doesn't listen. On the other times we just disagree heavily. Or there's those small few times where we actually agree, but that doesn't happen too often.
yeah, with the not listening thing, we would say something. He would be like starting a point. We'd be like, okay, can we stop that? And just say that this is why we think it's bad. And then without acknowledging our point, he would just continue on his initial point. Like you didn't even counter what we said at all. You just kept going.
Yeah, like that is something that just annoys me extremely. Like in anything, like we were like, we had a debate like once, and like I just debunked one of his points, and then he just brought up the same point later and just tried using it.
Oh,
Even
we
though he
know
had
that
conceded
game.
it. Like,
We
yeah,
know that one.
that's like, look, you conceded it. Give up.
Oh yeah,
Like,
we had
that
to
is
jump
how
through
this-
we had to jump through 1,000 hoops to get him to concede a single point. He had to go to the judge and everything, like, what do you think? And it's just like, well, you didn't dispel anything they said. Like, it was a grind.
It was pulling teeth.
It was pulling teeth just to be like, look, you don't have information. Just say you do not.
What are
Yeah.
they talking about now?
Oh, Shinigami.
Oh, what was it about?
Oh, just how
Oh,
much
yeah,
we had
no,
to
him
pull
not
teeth.
listening and like him being very annoying with conceding and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, his stubbornness, like his absolute inability to understand common logic.
Yeah, this is why we're
Yeah.
getting so sidetracked here, because it's like we're all agreeing on the same stuff. There's nothing to disagree with. Oh, isn't this cool? Isn't this funny? Yes, I also agree with that. It's not like with Shinigami where we're like, okay, this doesn't make sense. Well, actually, if you look at, well, can we find the manga panel for it? It's like, no, we just simply do not have the information for it.
Shinigami seems like he thinks Bleach is a 10 out of 10 perfect series, and you guys are just like
He
7
does.
or 8 out of 10.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
problems.
Yeah, I think that. He actually
Yeah, like
does.
I think he stated that it's like that and Avatar is like 11 out of 10.
Okay, yeah, see, so that is kind of difficult talking to somebody about that, where it's like, these things have flaws, and you go, no, it don't. Like, what about the money?
Yeah.
Well, who cares? That's not an answer.
Literally, like I think it's good to have some critical thinking when it comes to this stuff, especially when it comes to crafting a story. If you like, I guess like one of the things from my essays that I have to learn is one of the great ways of doing it is making questions for it. How does this work? Would it work?
Yes.
Like what else does what is it? What does it need to be added there? What
Yeah.
about money?
It's like this guy next to me. He goes, if you're making an analysis video, look at yourself as the audience and go, does that make sense? Why did that happen? Just keep asking yourself questions until you've answered every possible thing that you could answer, so people can't counter it.
Yeah, so because some analysis would just be like, Ichigo has a fiery personality, and then they'll move on and go, what do you mean by fiery personality? And you need to ask, what do you mean by? And then until you can break it down to you can't ask that anymore, just keep doing it. Just keep explaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, like here's how I would Ichigo in the first arc in the most short way possible. He's a hot-headed, immature, stubborn, dumbass, and like I don't know what else to say.
He cares a lot.
No. Yeah, he cares a lot, but he's an idiot.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and he's egotistical.
He's a teenager.
Yeah.
Mm.
Teenagers are idiots.
Exactly.
But
And
they're
I'm
not.
a teenager, but I will still agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, he's just a common teenager at that point, and it makes sense, it's good. But then it's like Shinigami would be, wait, no, that's not a bad thing. Here's why everything that's bad is not right. Look, this is actually Ichigo. This is my headcanon of him. That was never a thing.
Yeah, and there was
He blatantly makes up a headcanon. Well, I'll just say right away if I like Ichigo's personality, or if I have a different opinion on what he should be like. I would say to people, I would make the distinction of how I would like him to be. But I know he's different.
Yeah, it's like one is an actual thing, and the other is, well, I want him to be like this.
I think that was
Like,
part of the
yeah,
problem
and
with
also,
total.
like,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
Sword Fight was also kind of came off really stubborn at first, because I at first I really didn't actually expect Shinigami to even invite you guys here to actually debate about it, and I just really more so joined in because like, why the hell not? So I didn't exactly agree with most of the stuff you said until like you actually explained it a bit more specifically. Like I kind of wanted to get better at the debating stuff, and I would gain like more knowledge more
Mhm.
knowledge on things I previously didn't know of.
Yeah. We grew up in a house of a family of debaters. Like our mom was basically like, there's an old saying where we're black, and there's an old saying that a drop of black blood makes you black, and we just argued with our mom for years about that because we didn't agree with it. We grew up in a house where weekly.
It was just like disagreements. There was no, hey, opinion and then move on. No, it was always critical thinking,
Always explaining.
things like that. So, and that's helping us in our adulthood, so we don't be like Shinigami. No offense, but there was a lot of times we just go, yeah, so what? Who cares? And like, no, that's not how we. That's not. Come on now.
It's cool
that's
if
not
you
an
like.
argument.
It's cool if you really like something. It's cool if you love something. But don't say it's good if you can't explain the bad away. Like if you're just going, oh, it's really good and I love it and it's very, very good, and I go, but what about these bad things? And you go, that is not good enough.
Yeah, like we talked about the money and how it's not explained and how it causes the story to happen. And he goes, yeah, what about all this good stuff? And we're like, yeah, that's good stuff. Can you say that this is something that's bad? No, but what about all this good stuff? And like, what about this bad thing, this glaringly bad thing? Well, that doesn't matter because there's all this good stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
There's differences of a bad series. It's like, is it objectively badly written, meaning it's like filled with holes, and is it enjoyable? Like, do you personally think it's good?
Yeah.
Like,
I think people
you can
conflate.
personally like a terrible thing, but that doesn't make it good.
Exactly. I think people conflate. If I like it, it has to be good because I can't like a bad thing, and if I dislike it, it has to be bad because I dislike a good thing. And it's part of the problem that I see with a lot of people, a lot of fans, not a lot of analysis YouTubers, where it's just like, this is the greatest thing ever because I really like it. That's not how it works. I love bad things. I love hate watching things. I Frankenstein is one of my favorite movies ever. Terrible. It is a 3 out of 10.
If that.
And I love it to death. This kid loves cats.
Fairy Tale. I love Fairy Tale so much, and Fairy Tale is terrible. And I admit that.
Zilla's movie. I love Godzilla '98. I think Zilla is an awesome monster.
Yeah. See, and that's why we're having this conversation instead of like a rough and tumble debate where we're going at each other's neck. You guys understand all this stuff. You guys are just like, yep, it's bad. Yeah, it's good over here, and we're just talking instead of just having a full on debate. And that's the biggest difference here.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of debating because there's not a lot to debate on.
Yeah.
It's like, there's a few things that we like. I think like I have a lot of more to say on certain stuff because I have read like the novels which explain some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't think it's necessarily that you like dislike it. It's like, okay, if you do that, maybe it would change. But like, maybe it's like the context obviously changes, but it's like Shinigami would defend it without reading the novels because like he doesn't read them, and then he's like, for example, like, we power scale a lot and like debate that, and like I give him arguments, and then he just like doesn't ask for context, and when people ask him for it, he just can't explain it and fucks it up. So everyone gets annoyed. It's like, no, please, just like, you can ask for details. That isn't a problem. Like, if you want to know something, you can ask.
We are literally Palpatine over here saying, please use my knowledge.
Yeah.
And there's not a problem with somebody bringing up a point that you can't counter.
Yeah.
It's just going, either I don't have enough information, so I can't speak on that, so I'll just give it to you right now, or you make a good point and I didn't even think about that, and I'm just moving on from it.
And it kind of changed how I feel about this. Like I said earlier, if they said, hey, the South Branch handles the animals, I'd be like, okay, there's nothing I can say about that anymore.
So now we know where the animals go and all that crap. Cool. Problem at all.
One sentence would explain that away, but
Shinigami would be like, no, but the animals don't matter. Like, you can't just say that.
Yeah. It's like, I try to explain it that, they're worthless, but it's like, there's still like a problem because they're not explained. Like, I can use headcanon and stuff like that to explain it, but that doesn't make, this is a problem because Kubo didn't explain it.
You can use
It's me
headcanon.
using like like I'm just trying to find a logical reason, and sure, maybe it's logical and could work, but it's not canon. It's not from Bleach.
Yeah,
It's just
it's
my
head
own
canon, and
interpretation.
it's headcanon, and it's you creating a narrative based on like context clues. And you know,
Yeah.
that's all well and
like,
good.
Honestly,
Go ahead.
yeah, like honestly, I just really hate.
What you cut off?
Combat, you cut off.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Try that again.
Of us.
Hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Now we don't.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
Thank God. Well, like honestly, one of the greatest things that annoyed the hell out of me, like when people actually misconstruct over what actually happened in some canon series, like in some really important scene to the lore, and then people just make up over their head. It annoys me a lot.
Yeah. Where you know their canon becomes the canon as
Yeah.
opposed to
What
it's
actually
on
happened?
the page.
Yeah.
It's funny because we had a comment recently that was just like we were talking about Cosmonaut and his JoJo's video, and the comment said that Cosmo said that part 3 characters were bad, not part 5, and he did the timestamp. And I said, okay, we're talking about this. And Cosmo said part 5 characters are whack. You just created your own narrative, just not listening at all
Oh my
to
God,
create
Cosmo.
a whole new narrative. And that's what people do.
Oh
They'll
God,
look at
yeah,
the pages.
Cosmo.
They'll go. They'll look at the pages. They'll watch the anime, and they'll go, "Oh, it's because of this reason, not because I believe it's about this reason.
I need to make
about this."
I need to make this make sense, and it makes sense like this, and that's the reason now.
Oh God, Cosmos videos on JoJo. I actually saw that. I fucking hate it.
They are terrible.
He is terrible.
They are terrible, and that's another
No.
thing when we were talking about analysis, because he goes, all of the JoJo characters fit into one of 3 roles: the funny coward, the stoic guy, or the crazy villain. And we go, what about all these other people? And then he just moves on. It's like, no, that's terrible that you said that.
Yeah, I know. The biggest insult for me was when he called Polnareff a coward.
Seriously.
Polnareff funny coward. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? When he called Fugo a calm, cool guy. What he his whole thing is about flying into murderous anger at the drop of a dime. What is he talking about?
Yeah, and it's like, it's okay to generalize. Like, yeah, for example, Yo-Yo has the main character, the, like, side characters, and then they have, like, the antagonist. Sure, it's okay to say, yeah, this is what they are, but you can explain more. Like, yeah, maybe this is, like, the foundation, but there's more to it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even mind
It's
if
like-
he just went, oh, JoJo's has a lot of calm, cool guys and this and this and this. You know, but he said all characters can fit into these 3 things. If he was like, a lot of characters can slot into calm, cool guy. A lot of characters can slot into funny coward. But and then just explain how there's different differences. But he just went, every character is one of
And
these
that's
3.
terrible.
Almost every character is flat. All character deaths are without ceremony.
And you go, what are you talking about? And that was
Oh,
a
God,
really
I wanted
bad
to-
video.
I really wanted to track this man's address down and just give him a metal bat.
Yeah, like, did he not watch, like, Jonathan's death with Dio?
Seriously.
Or, Iggy and Abdal's death against Vanilla Ice.
Jackie in part 4. It's crazy how he
It's
just says
crazy.
that. He just puts that out and just like, yep, I'm gonna just edit this. This is my video. I'm making these points, and people are just gonna listen and believe me.
And then what's sad is a lot of people did listen and believe, because you'll go into the comment section and they'll be like, wow, he made a lot of great points. I
did.
never thought about this. No, he did not, sir.
Yeah, like,
Oh
that-
God, I gotta track many addresses down right now. In a
Like-
moment.
Like, this is, I have a saying for this, and this is what I call sheep mentality.
Absolutely.
This is what those people are.
Absolutely.
yeah. Yeah.
It's people
Like,
letting
they exist
you...
in all media.
It's people letting YouTubers do their thinking for them.
Yes, this person said that this is good and I like them, so it is good. And that's all they're, and then they'll come into our comments and they'll just parrot the words of the YouTuber, and we're like, okay, explain it. And they can't explain it because it's not their thoughts.
Exactly. This is why they go into breakdown mode because they're being forced to think and they're going to collapse.
Yes.
But because they can't accept it, they just reboot and rage.
Oh, and we've gotten a lot of that where it's just like, I've counted everything you said. Well, you're an idiot.
Look at all these dislikes. It's like, that's not a point. We're having a civil discussion here. You taking it here. That's literally ad hominem. That's a fallacy.
Jesus, so where are the Infinity Stones when you actually need them?
Dude, snap half of them away at least.
Stones, give me the anti-life equation already. It'll fix it all.
So yeah,
This is what Darkseid wants to remove. He'll just remove all.
Give me Batman equipment.
Give me
give me
anything.
the Batman's. Like, give me the Batcave. Give me the Batcave with archetypes in it.
so you know, there's not a lot to say here.
Yeah.
We're just agreeing with each other.
Like, I'm lucky.
It's just a civil, good
Shinigami
conversation.
Isn't that bad? It's just,
Yeah.
oh, I don't agree with you, and then he just shuts up if you beat him hard enough, instead of going rant mode. Although he does that sometimes,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah,
annoying.
you just need to basically ass fuck this man into a submission until he can't talk anymore.
Yeah, you just keep on beating him down until he listens.
Yeah, we
like
got-
literally like in one of the DMs when I had to explain Yamamoto's speaking, I literally wrote a 15 fucking minute essay, and the dude didn't even say thank you. What, you bitch?
Yeah, he's like that. Like, he never thanks you for an argument, and then he misuses the arguments, and then comes back to you and asks for help and what he did wrong without listening.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get anything accomplished here today.
I came here looking for a fight, and it's just like, this is a civil, good conversation.
You came into a Democrat meeting with boxing gloves. It's just like, no, we're just talking. Okay, yeah, I guess we're out
hey,
there. There's not gonna be anything
Yeah, it's a
here.
good conversation.
Unless we
y'all.
have anything else to talk about. Basically
No,
explain anything to each
Because
other.
most of the problems we brought up, like world building and stuff, you guys mostly agree with. There's nothing.
There's nothing we really have a problem with outside of world building. That's like, fights happens,
Attention.
and it's just like the fight happens, things like that. And there's some things that I'm sure you guys agree on. So it's like, not even really a point in bringing it up.
Jealousy and have a good time, if anything. Like, you can just go here and chill about it, if anything.
Yeah. Wait, look, that question Igami shouldn't be in these discussions. It's like, can you stop ranting and listen?
Yeah, and then the
It's
biggest
like-
problem was
I literally asked him in DMs like, hey, can we kind of have Benjamin kind of take your place since you're gonna be busy with like at school and your debates? And he said yes. I was jumping out of my seat in joy.
Thank you so much.
and the first comment that he sent to us on our video was just like, come to our Discord and I'll destroy you on these opinions and crap like that. He came in just full of and we were just like, oh, so this is what it's gonna be. So yeah.
And here it comes in, and here we are. Like, we have a civil discussion, we agree with each other. If we have a miscommunication, we just have, here's the context for it.
Yeah.
The whole thing was.
And it's like when I watched the video, there was a bunch of things that I was like, yeah, okay, that's somewhat fair. And then there's like, oh fuck, I hate this. But then you like hear the reasons, like, yeah, in depth, and it's like, okay, I can understand that now.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing was, oh man, I completely lost my train of thought there. It was with him debating. We said early on, we don't care about being right. We would rather to us why we're wrong, because we had completely misunderstood the Soul King at one point. We did not understand what he did and what he governed and everything. And then they explained it. Combat and Shinigami explained it to us, and we just went, "Oh, okay, that's what he does." We did not understand that. Okay, moving on.
That was mostly me explaining that.
Okay.
See, we tried to give Homeboy a little bit of credit, but okay, sure.
But okay, so Combat explained that, and we just went, "Okay, you were right. We're moving on." Whereas when we would bring something like the Central 46, it would just be 40 minutes of just like, no,
excusing and no, but this and it doesn't matter and things like that.
We don't care about being right. We care about the knowledge we gain, and we would like the best context for the series to go into further discussions.
Yeah, I honestly had no idea what I was doing back then.
Because Shinigami coerced you into helping him.
I mean,
yeah,
I'm
hate
supposed
when
to
he
join
does
it on
that.
my own will.
Or when he keeps on begging, you just let them help you, and then he just says that he was just being nice.
Yeah, I remember early in the debate where we were talking about sales figures and stuff, and we go, yeah, we talked about sales figures like this. He goes, you guys didn't bring up any graphs or anything. We used the graphs that were in the video. He goes, well, I don't really care about sales. I bring in like this prominent Bleach sales dude, and he can debate y'all. I'm like, why? What? Why would we do that? We don't care. You don't care. Let's move on.
Yeah, like now you also speak about the Soul King thing. Now you also know a new thing about it, that he just came into existence because it's a more of a natural reaction to the world. Like the existence itself has its own sentience in a way.
Yep, we didn't know that. We didn't know anything about the editors not wanting. The editors forcing the Shinigami or some of the things Kubo wanted to do later on that he might be able to do in the anime. And now we're better for having that knowledge.
Now, if we ever talk about Bleach again, we won't have incorrect knowledge and just go, the Soul King is the strongest dude in the world. And like, no, he's not, because we had this conversation.
Yeah. Of course, he actually is, at least if he's coherent and can actually think for himself.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, he's a fucking rock corpse in the middle of a crystal.
Yeah, like the Soul King is unironically the most powerful in Bleach. At least Prime Soul King.
Yeah.
Yeah, current Soul King kinda down bad.
So yeah, this is just a straight civil discussion as opposed to the other two we had where it was just like, please just answer our question.
There was a couple times where we were begging them.
Yeah, like I think I can make an analogy of like where we were supposed to be entering into this boxing match, but now we're just playing chess.
Basically.
We're supposed to do a boxing match, but instead we just keep tapping gloves like, good job, good job, good job.
Yeah.
We go into Iraq for a war, and it's like, oh, there's a McDonald's here. The war is over.
Oh no, that reminds me. In like thinking World War or something like that, there was a time where both sides would just have a break and they would just read porn together.
Just civil.
I didn't know about that, but they didn't teach me about that in school. What the fuck does my school teach? They did not that.
Yeah, like I looked it up once. I was like looking for some news articles, and like there's an actual image, like a full-on picture of two soldiers from opposing sides together sitting down. One of them is smoking, and they are reading a fucking porn, like basically a Playboy.
The Great Uniter.
Yes. We all knew it. Porn, the saving.
Porn saved 2 men's lives.
Yeah.
Hey, stop shooting! Look at this.
Wow, those are some massive bosoms, sir.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is much different. Yeah, we're not hostile guys or anything.
Yeah, absolutely not.
We didn't come into the Discord to just be like, you stupid prick.
All right, it's go time. Who got some opinions? Like, no, let's just talk about this.
Bro, that's all I've heard from you guys. That's all I've done. I've come in here, it's all that's been said, so I don't know.
So yeah,
Oh,
there's
Richard
nothing here.
Sherman.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah, the
Great
conversation
best
just
work.
came in and went by.
They look evil compared to you. Okay, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
dang, Loki 2 is out.
Episode 2, really?
Yeah. No, I watched it already. Wow, the show is so. I don't know what to say about that.
I don't. No spoilers. We need to see it first.
Yeah. I'm gonna hop off
Oh,
and
okay,
check that out.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna hop off and check out Loki. Thanks for having us though.
Good discussions, y'all.
Yeah. Good time.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Take care of yourselves.
You
Hope
too.
Have a nice day.
Y'all
Yeah.
too.
Sure.